Welcome to Keeping It 100 Oklahoma High School Sports with a special edition that we're going to bring to what? Coach Jones Show. Recap of what they had going the last few weeks. Coach Jones, how you doing this morning?
Doing great, man. Bright and early, and I'm excited. It's been a great week. After that Carl Albert win, we've been kind of floating a little bit, but we had to get refocused and get ready for Bishop McGinnis. They're a great team. They're a great program, and I'm excited about showing the state what we could do consistently versus another great program.
Well, Coach, I know, going into week one, you guys had a tough opponent, Booker T. Washington, going into that game, you guys were up at halftime,
Yes,
14-13, ended up losing the ball game, 39-26,
Yes, sir.
A couple costly turnovers at the end of, in the second half, caused you guys to, get behind. So, but looking at Booker T and looking at you guys, it shows that Del C is one of the better teams in the state of Oklahoma in
Yes,
6A.
sir. I know anytime you play a team like Booker T or Carl Albert, you cannot give them 14 points. They had a scoop and score,
Yes, sir.
touchdown, and then we turned it over inside the red zone, inside the 10-yard line. And then we had 150 yards of penalties. Like, you can't do that when you're playing a great team. So we knew all week that we had to focus on that, and if I'm thinking close to it, I think we only had a couple penalties versus Carl Albert and no turnovers. And then we created turnovers. We played great on special teams. So it was great to see the team progress and correct those mistakes. And I'm excited to see them keep moving forward in the future.
Like I said, you got that first loss, week one. Did you come back week two against, your brothers, the Carl Albert Titans, a team that's won 5 state championship, and you guys, had lost in the previous year, and you come out this year on top with a 52-20 victory.
Yes, sir.
Coach, that's saying a lot, though. That's a team that's won, 16 of the last,
20
state championship. That's something big. And being from that program and coaching with Mike Dunn, a good friend of yours and a guy that you've coached with in Texas, in Oklahoma, and him being over at Del City. And that's kind of like a chess match because you both know each other.
Yes.
And now you play each other. And what you did last week, showing the state, hey,
Yes, sir.
you went beat up on a powerhouse 5A team, 52 points, and only giving up 20.
Yes,
So, how does that make you feel, Coach?
Well, like you said, it was a chess match because I coached with Mike for so long, and I kind of know how he thinks. Like, even with the first kickoff, I was telling my special teams coordinator, I'm like, man, they're going to try it onside. I just had the feeling. And that also gave me confidence that I knew that they were going to take chances because they feel like we were that type of team. After speaking with the community leaders, the administration of Del City, that's probably one of the biggest wins since the 1976 state championship. To beat a program that has won 5 state championships in a row. I think they were 54-2 in their last 56 games. To go over there and play like that on all levels, on special teams, defense and offense, and to play without penalties and turnovers, it kind of show where we're going as a program. And the scary thing is we could play a lot better. And I think we could play a lot better. I think we showed that we can't throw the ball, so I think our quarterback's only going to improve. Then you added with that 3-head monster rushing attack, I think we could be special if we continue to correct things that we got to fix.
Yeah, you did a great job of shutting down their two good backs, Xavier and then Buddy, Brazil, a kid. That's highly recruited,
Yes,
a big back, probably one of the better backs in the 5A too. And you guys kind of shut them down. Your defense played outstanding with Stone, and then your other big defensive end,
Jaden Foreman.
Yeah, Foreman. those guys look outstanding. And that's one of the things I'm going to ask you about. Talking about the game. Recap some of the young men that kind of stood out in that Carl Albert game.
Well, starting offensively, Virgil Yates. Virgil's our quarterback. He's a senior quarterback. This is his first year playing. I challenged him. I said, hey, I know Booker T was a challenge to throw the ball. They got 4 Division I defensive backs. I said, this week we're going to let it fly. And we thought we had some advantages on some coverages they play. So he stepped up. He made some great throws. And now talking about Jason. Jason Smith's a big back. Not a lot of high school kids want to come up and tackle somebody 240 pounds. And he's agile enough to beat you. And then the movement, Ethan Lawrence from Westmore. Ethan was here as a sophomore, so we had a relationship. He moved back. He really enjoyed the program, and what he did, he showed everyone in the state that he was special. Everybody kind of knew it when he was at Westmore because he had 700 yards receiving. But to be able to do that in your only second game playing running back, and then to show up on special teams. And the thing I like about it, those guys also play defense as well. So Virgil had a good defensive game. Not a lot of teams are going to put their quarterback on defense, but that's the style I want to play. I think it gives you depth. And Jason had a great game at linebacker, and Ethan had a great game at safety. Starting with the offensive line. Our offensive line has played outstanding this year.
Yes.
To get 375 yards rushing against Booker T, and then to turn around and get 240 versus Carl Albert. And those are top programs with great technique, great fundamentals. So our O-line deserves a lot of props as well. And then you go to our receiver, Jaden Sweet. He made some great catches, over the middle. One time he got hit and dropped it, and he came back and scored on the next play. I knew it was there. I said, hey, let's run it again. Then he caught another deep one over the middle and took a good lick and still was able to keep his balance and get in the end zone. Then defensively, starting up front, when Jaden Foreman I believe he had 2 sacks. He's a Power 5 Division I athlete. I always knew once the lights started clicking with him, he figured out that he's 260 pounds and he could play with a physicality. And then you add David Stone to that mix, so you get to, also talking about David Stone, I love having him and Jaden Foreman mesh together. You got 2 powerful defensive ends, and Stone can also play D tackle. That's pretty tough on a high school offensive line. And then you add the speed of Darius Hampton, who's elusive. He has an offer from UCO, East Central, so you get 3 defensive linemen that are collegiate players. That's tough on any high school offensive line. And then we have the availability to move Stone to defensive end and have Jaden Foreman at defensive end. Then we got Rayvon Swindle, who plays offensive tackle for us and also plays D tackle. So with that combination up front, that's pretty tough on high school offensive linemen and high school offensive coordinators. And then at your linebacker play, I already mentioned Jason Smith. He's 6'2", 240. Kansas was calling me about him this week because he has shown what he could do. And then Brian Stalker, he's our will linebacker. He's 6'2", 250 pounds. I had scouts ask me at halftime who that was. So he kind of put himself on the map. He made a couple of big plays versus Brazil. And Brazil's a big back. For our linebackers to go up and hit him the way they did all night, that was very impressive. And then on the back end, you got Kenajan Thomas. He's a Division I prospect. Teams don't want to go his way. Then you got Ethan Lawrence, and he's a threat at running back and at safety. And we can use him in the receiving game as well. He's playing great for us at safety. Then you got Braylon Adama, who's a sophomore. He's number 4. He made some great plays, some great hits over the middle. And then Jalen Sweet, who also plays receiver. We had those 2 touchdown catches. He's also playing corner for us. So you can see we got guys playing both ways. And the thing I love about it, it teaches them the game more. They're more knowledgeable. They're more into the game, and also helps them get in shape, and it makes them tough. They're going a long offensive drive at running back, like Ethan Lawrence, for example, and then have to turn around and play safety. It makes you a tough football player. I think that's going to help us out in the playoffs. And then you go to special teams with our kicker. Stanley Johnson did a great job. He kicked some kicks out of the back of the end zone. He was 4 for 4 on PATs. He was 1 for 1 on field goal attempts. So that gives us a different threat that we hadn't had here. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to see what he can do.
Well, Coach, you talk about your corner, Kenajan. He's picked up an offer this week, right?
Yes, sir, from Kansas.
Kansas. And I tell you, watching that Bishop, I keep saying Bishop McGinnis. Excuse me. I keep watching that Booker T game.
Yes, sir.
He had a play that Booker T had broke out, and he hawked the kid down.
Yes, sir.
The kid was probably 10 to 15 yards, and he hawked it down. And looking at the guy, I've kind of heard a lot of people talk about him.
Yes,
everybody was trying to steal him from you, Coach. I'm going to keep it 100, that's what we
absolutely.
do.
Yes,
But I
sir.
tell you, I can see why, because I'm telling you, the kid's speed, and he got great size, and like you said, he's a shutdown corner. So that plays one side of the field. When you got a young man like that, that can play one side of the field, then you got him in your offensive side. He runs a little bit of tailback. He runs a little bit of receiver for you. The kid is a great athlete. I'm telling you, he looks really good. How big is he, Coach?
He's about 180 right now, 6'1", 180. He started for us as a freshman, and he started as a safety. So he has played safety and corner. I honestly believe the next 2 years he's going to be a state champion, 5 and 100 and 200. He's that type of athlete. So I'm excited to see him continue to grow. He's played a lot of football. So now he's starting to get mature and get relaxed, because when you start as a freshman, now it's just becoming easy for you. And I think it's going to continue to do that. Then when he becomes a senior, and he's been starting for 3 years, and he's actually going against people his age,
Yes, sir.
I think he could be pretty dynamic.
He's a special player, Coach. I'll tell you, this week you're coming with another great team. Bishop McGinnis, you both coming at 1-1. They're coming off a win last week. They got beat up by Quita a couple weeks ago, but I tell you, they got one of the better backs in the state too. Michael Taffy.
Yes.
I think he's one of the better backs in the 5A program, and they're led by their offensive line. So your D line going against their O line should be really special come this Friday night.
Absolutely. Bishop McGinnis is a great program. They're very similar to Carl Albert. They played in 4 state championships in the last 6 years. They have great players. Their offensive line has always been one of the best we've seen all year. They're very similar to Stillwater. They're coached up. They're big. They're physical. And they'll run the ball at you. And then they'll also spread you out with some empty formations and throw the ball on you as well. And they do a great job in pass protection. So I'm excited to see David Stone, Jaden Foreman, and Darius Hampton, go against those guys to kind of continue to see if we can grow and progress in the way we want to go. And then with that back, he's a breakaway back. You know, he's very similar to Brazil. I think he has a little bit more breakaway speed. So I think it gives us another opportunity to go against a great running back to show what we can do defensively and help us grow as well.
Yeah, and like I said, it should be a great game. You know, you come in, you know, after Friday night, you start district play, and who do you open up district against?
We open up against Northwest. You know, it's Oklahoma City Public School, so we all know that situation. But it's just another opportunity for us to get better. You know, regardless of who we play, we always want to use every opportunity to implement more schemes, see what some players can do, and try to see where we can kind of put our personnel. So it's still an opportunity to play. And it's an opportunity for younger guys to get some reps as well to build some depth. So we need to go out and play tough this week. You know, the kids, I told them you can't get caught in the trap game. We had a historically big win, you know, against Carl Albert, and it's easy to kind of fall asleep and kind of start listening to everybody patting you on the back and everybody saying this and that. But no, we need to get refocused, understand what this game does for us, and go in the district with a great win.
Yes, sir. You know, your district gonna be solid. You know, you got Stillwater, you got Deer Creek that's kind of opened some eyes coming in this, you know, right now, sitting at 2-0. Probably one of the best offensive linemen, you know, with Sexton.
Yes.
You know, so, you know, I think district's gonna be wide open, you know, like I said, with Stillwater, you got you guys, you got Lott, and yeah, everybody's fighting for that #1 seed to play at home and get those first 2 games at home.
Yes,
and I
sir.
think you guys are sitting really pretty, you know, what you've done so far, playing against 2 great teams already.
Yes, sir.
You know, in Booker T and Carl Albert. Now you come in with Bishop McGinnis Friday night.
Yes,
So I think it's going to be a great season, and you got that first win. So congratulations to you,
Thank you. I
on
appreciate
that.
it. Yes, sir.
But Coach, I mean, like I said, I think you guys got, you know, the Dell City Eagles in the right direction,
Yes,
doing
sir.
right things. You know, like I said, beating Carl Albert was a big win. Like you said, hey, we done that, but now we got to go take care of business.
Absolutely.
We got to go win these district games, these 7 more district games to get that #1 seed. So, but Coach Jones, I appreciate you know coming on another great
Yes, sir.
episode of Keeping It 100. And folks, we'll be doing this every Tuesday night. The Coach Jones Show. We'll do recaps, talk about the game before and the game that's coming up with Coach Jones. So thank you for watching another great episode of Keeping It 100, the Coach Jones Show.